Hello and welcome back to the AI-Driven Marketer. I'm Dan Sanchez. My friends call me Dan Chez, and today we're diving into how to use AI to do real-time market research. This was not possible until just last week when Grok2 launched. And I'm usually a ChatGPT guy, and I kind of ignored the other AI platforms because they're just kind of like in this race of like one-upping each other. There's slightly a little bit here, a little bit there. This platform's a little bit better, but if you've listened to this podcast, you've heard me talk about this before. But Grok2 came out, and it's at a ChatGPT 4 level-ish, probably a little bit under, but that's not why it's exciting. Grok2 is exciting because it has a whole new capability that the other models can't touch and won't be able to touch for some time unless they do some kind of licensing deals with other social networks, because Grok2 has access to real-time information directly from X, aka Twitter. And that changes the game for us when it comes to doing market research on what the heck your target audience is talking about. And more than that, it can do more than that. So I'm going to go through some use cases because this is the most exciting thing I've seen all summer that's actually usable for marketers right now when it comes to AI stuff. And nobody's talking about it. It's amazing to me. When Grok2 came out, everybody was trending about like the fact that you could put out some pictures of like Mickey Mouse killing Donald Trump or something like that, which is like, okay, so it doesn't have the proper filters for images. Got it. They'll fix that later. But that was big news. Cool. I get it. But as a marketer, I don't really care about that stuff because I was never going to use those images for my social profile anyway. And it's honestly not as good as Midjourney, and I guess it is slightly better than DALL-E if you want to use it for image creation. But right now I kind of use Midjourney for all my images. What's really exciting about it is its ability to pull in real-time information from Twitter. So let's talk about how to leverage that in order to do better market research, better understand what's Twitter, and how I'm planning on using it with my content moving forward. So let's take a look. And as you know, this is a video podcast, so I'm going to be showing my screen right now, but talking through it so that everybody listening on audio, on a jog, on a drive or something, you'll get 90% of what I'm laying down here, but there is a visual component to it. So go to AI-drivenmarketer.com or you look up AI-driven marketer on YouTube. It's actually, you can watch the video straight on Apple Podcasts too. It's broadcasting there. I am on X.com, and you can see that in order to test this, you got to pay the $8 a month. There's no free version of Grok that you can use without paying the $8. So go ahead and pay the $8. Just pay it 1 month and, plan on canceling it later if you just want to do an $8 test. That's what I'm currently doing. Oh, look, it's even, I think it's, oh no, let's see. Yeah, $7 if you pay annually, $8 if you pay for a month. I just paid for a month to give it a shot. You can upgrade to Premium Plus if you want more, access to X, Twitter, whatever. I just paid the $8 because I wanted to test out Grok. So that's what I did. You can go there, and then Grok becomes available to you in your X profile. It becomes one of the tabs over on the left side just called Grok. And if you click over to it, you will see a very ChatGPT-like window where it's like, ask anything. Okay, so, and it's got some prompt ideas, some image ideas. Sure, that's what that window looks like. But let me show you some of the prompts I've already entered in and some of the answers I've gotten back. And for example, I've used B2B marketers as my target audience just to kind of give you an idea. But remember, you just insert your own target audience and it will feed you back stuff that your target audience is talking about. But I asked what topics are trending with B2B marketers, and the results it gave back to me were actually pretty good. Now, the way it gets this information is by mining tweets. This was available in Grok 1, and I tested it 4 months ago. I might have even reported it on the show, or at least on LinkedIn, but it wasn't ready. Like I could tell like the profiles it was pulling and the things the profiles were talking about weren't the right trends. They weren't the right people. It was like it had potential, but it wasn't that good yet. But now with Grok 2, its ability to understand the context is so much better. It's just smarter. And if I look through the examples here, I actually know with some confidence, and I've clicked through and spot tested a bunch of these before in different searches to know that they're reasonable. They're actually pretty good. So even if I go through this list of like, okay, what is trending with B2B marketers? Let's talk about, this is the list that it gave me. And I'm kind of paraphrasing the title of the list. I'm not going into the full description of each item here that it has written. It says AI and predictive analytics, hyper-personalization, visual and video content, account-based marketing, ABM, voice search optimization, ethical data collection and privacy, content marketing evolution, integrated marketing strategies, community building, B2C to B marketing, retail media networks, and CMO transformations. That was the list. It's a pretty good list. As a B2B marketer actively involved in B2B marketing conversations on LinkedIn, I'm like, yeah, that's what B2B marketers are talking about as far as we're like on LinkedIn. What's cool about this is then you can dive a level deeper because again, it's a chat. You can go deeper and it can go do more searches for you based on what it's able to see on X. So I actually already ahead and did this. I said, can you elaborate on the B2C to B marketing trending people are talking about on X? And it went and gave me a better breakdown and pulled more posts just about this one topic. And it did a great job in summarizing this topic of B2C to B and how people are currently talking about it. This is fantastic market research. I think this is the most useful for me and my content marketing planning because then I can use this to talk about what I'm talking about, right? I can incorporate some of what's trending into the conversations I'm having. I'm hopefully going to be using this to plan some of the episodes because now I can see what marketers are talking about when it comes to AI. And I can start creating content that addresses those things that they're hoping for, the fears that they have, complaints that they've had that I might be able to answer. And this will drive some future podcast episodes for me. So that's how this is the thing that I'm most excited about is just being able to tap into what people are currently talking about so I can make my content so much more relevant. Because oftentimes my feed on X or on LinkedIn, there's a smorgasbord of things going through here, and rarely ever do I find out what people are actually complaining about related to the very specific niche of AI and marketing, right? And you might be wondering that too when it comes to your product. The product has only covers some niche space that your target audience cares about. Well, what are they talking about related to that niche space? And how does your product address it? Now you have from that one answer, what it might give you, you might have 5 blog post ideas that'll be on point now because it's not based on a guess. It's not based on one post. No, it's based on a variety of posts that the platforms highlighted and specified. I've actually talked to Grok directly, the AI, about how it finds the posts. It actually uses an old school algorithm to go and find them and then rank stack them based on a number of factors, like how many people are commenting on it, retweeting it, liking it, bookmarking it, and all those things. And that's what I love to hear as a marketer. It's not just X search, right? Which anybody can come in here and just do explore for free what a keyword. But no, it's actually using the AI in tandem with these old tech solutions in order to pull up highly relevant and trending posts, which is why I'm so excited about what Grok's doing here. So let's look at some other use cases. I went and then asked it, this is a good one, what problems are B2B marketers complaining about? Ooh, like the answers to these are gold for your content marketing, right? Because every time you find a problem, that's especially if you want to create thought leadership. Thought leadership should always stem from issues and problems that your prospective audience is facing, right? You're more likely to have resonance with people if you can speak directly to their problems. And this is, I had a hard time finding what people are complaining about in certain niches. And this is the first solution that I've seen that really helps me understand how I can help better serve people, especially with content. But of course, you can throw this back to the product marketing team in order to evaluate how it might change your product roadmap too. And of course, you can actually dive down into specific problems. I said it gave me a list of problems that B2B marketers are facing, like the data privacy conundrum, the content creation overload, the great marketing channel flood, the sales and marketing alignment tango. It's using some fun language here. The shifting sands of buyer journeys, the talent hunt, the ROI and performance tracking. And as a B2B marketer, I'm like, yep. Some of these are classics like sales and marketing alignment. Some of them are a little new. Content creation overload is something we've been talking about for a while now. And I love that it's even going into depth with like AI promising to be the new content chef. There's a paradox. While AI can churn out content faster than you can say content marketing, the challenge lies in keeping it fresh, relevant, not sounding like it was written by a robot, because let's face it, even robots get bored with their own content. Man, I love the sass in this thing. It's great. So very interesting. And of course, it's based on relevant posts. I'm seeing some really interesting marketers in this list. Very cool. So one that I did a search on, actually, this one was pretty good. What is the current sentiment given for Go High Level as a CRM across marketers. And I won't get into the breakdown, but I give a great breakdown of the general buzz, the love, the critique, the pragmatic view, and the cost conundrum of Go High Level as a CRM and marketing automation platform. It's my favorite product right now when it comes to marketing. So I was curious to see how other marketers are talking about it. If I worked for High Level, then this would be gold for me to understand what the current sentiment is, at least on the platform of X when it comes to my product. And of course, you can dive into any one of these more because you could just say, hey, based on what people are saying about the critique, show me more examples of that on X, and it'll give it to you. One thing that I tried that didn't go so well, and it's because if you think about it, it's actually a harder search to do. I asked who influences B2B marketers the most on X, and it gave me a list like Elon Musk, industry thought leaders, the influencer marketing platforms. It's kind of like this micro influencers. It's just not a good list. And as I looked at the posts that came with it, they really weren't that good. I'm like they're just kind of scattered. They're not on point, and I honestly think it's because I'm asking for a list of a list. Like I'm going too many levels deep for Grok to be able to handle yet. It's better when you're asking a question about the post of your target audience specifically. But by asking for influencers, I'm not asking about the posts of the target audience. I'm asking for like this different level of relationship that's influencing the target audience. Now, like if I were an AI engineer working on this, I might like try to get it to see who they're retweeting the most, and that might be helpful, but it's not doing that. So it's not good at finding the influencers. But if you know who the influencers are, you know what you might be able to do is ask what the trends are across 3 different major influencers in your industry. And that would be some insightful analysis to be able to look at. So that's a quick snapshot of what you can use Grok to do that you couldn't do with any other AI platform. And I want to share some other ideas that I haven't tested yet, but I'm like, ooh, you could probably do this pretty well. But I wanted to throw out a bunch of different use cases out there for you because maybe one of these are more relevant to you, and I haven't gotten into it yet. But you could probably use it to do competitive analysis. You can look up a competitor and see what's trending and what the sentiment is on the competitor's marketing campaign or their product, or what the buzz is about a certain competitor. You can use it to do crisis management. If something bad is happening, you can use it to find out what the real pain points are, what the real critiques are, not just the few that are the noisy, squeaky wheels, but the general analysis of most of what people are talking about. You can use it to better understand how your own content's performing, especially if you're a heavy user of X. You can have it to do analysis on your own profile because, again, it's able to see a little bit more than just the content itself and the base level likes and what's publicly available. It can go a little bit deeper into the algorithm to find out what's working, and I think that would be useful if you were a heavy user of X. So those are some other additional ways that I haven't tested yet, but I have a feeling it would work pretty well for Grok. Take a look at it yourself. I'd love to hear if this is working for you. You can always find me at linkedin.com/in/digitalmarketingdan. Tell me about this episode and what you're able to find out from Grok. If you do a lot with it and are able to find some really cool stuff, maybe tell me about it and I will have you on as a guest on an episode and we can unpack more of it together. If this episode was helpful to you, man, I'd love it if you left a review. If you're on YouTube, smash the little thumbs up button. Maybe give it a little quick, I love this comment to boost it up in the algorithm. And if you're on a podcast platform, man, give it the star rating you think it's worth. And that helps this show out a ton. And of course, if you're interested in diving deeper into AI, but need a path in order to guide you, in order to go from zero in order to get to AI hero, go to AI-drivenmarketer.com/course, where you can find a free course that's using AI to customize every single lesson to your job in your market so that you can get better results out of AI faster. Thank you for listening.